What's happening, party people? What's happening? I'm your host with the most, Mr. Ron, back with another episode of 40 years of hip-hop. And today, party people, we will be reviewing Keepin Gangsta remix by Fabolous featuring D-Block, Styles P and Jadakiss, M.O.P and Paul Kane. This album was released in 2003 from the album Street Dreams. But party people, before we get into this, let's take a look at Mr. Ron's week. That's right. And Astro World. Wow, what a disaster. First of all, my heart goes out to all of the families that lost people. You know, again, I cannot imagine, you know, you go to a concert to have a good time and, you know, you end up not coming back. 9 people died, and a 9-year-old boy is still in a coma. And whenever we hear of such tragedies, well, it's just a sad situation for everyone that is involved, and in this case, especially hip hop culture, because we know the media is not gonna miss linking that to, well, Travis Scott was a rapper. Anyways, party people. So what have I been listening to this week? So I've just said that, you know what? I'm just falling in love with that Sarah album from 2020, The Sharecropper's Daughter. Wow. I mean, like, I'm really mesmerized. Like, lyrically, I think that Sarah is definitely in the top 3 female rappers out there now. And as I was listening to the album over and over and over again, I'm like, wow, I would love to hear just like one track, you know, with her and perhaps Kendrick. You know, I think that would be a good mix, you know. I think one would really complement the other. That would be a nice track. So track of the week, party people, is that new Drake joint, Too Sexy, you know, featuring Future and I believe Lil Baby, yes. Because there's Da Baby and Lil Baby, and you know, it could be a little confusing. So good track, fun track. Okay, it's a fun track. Again, and yo, I'm old. I know we've covered this on numerous occasions, and I really like the way they work that Right Said Fred sample. You know, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy. Anyways, man, that's the track of the week. You know, I've been humming that track. You know, and it's 8. You know what? It's not outstanding lyricism. You know, the beat is another trap, you know, beat, but it's catchy as hell, you know. And of course, since, you know, I grew up in the 90s, I can only reminisce of the sample that they use, which they always get me like that, you know, with the sample. Anyways, party people. So of course, make sure you tune in next week as my man the G Money Ka-ching will be reviewing Deeper by Boss. And ooh, that's a great track. That's a very underrated track. Yeah. Love that track. And again, if the G Money wouldn't have picked it, it would have been mine. That's for sure. That's right. So party people, why did I choose this song? Well, I chose this song because, first of all, I love it. You know, I really enjoy this song. The main reason why that I chose this song is basically just to underline how, like, hip-hop in the early 2000s totally switched. You know, and I would tell you, hip-hop in the early 2000s was extremely club-friendly. Okay, extremely club-friendly. And that's why this song, which I heard many times at clubs, early 2000s, I was still clubbing. And yeah, so that's the reason why I chose it to underline basically a trend in hip-hop in the early 2000s. So let's break it down. Originality. Is this song original? And if so, how? Well, the way I see it, I don't really feel that this song is original. Okay, it's a straight up hip-hop song, a remix. The beat is dope. Okay, the hook is catchy, and one thing that I can say is, again, that song where we compare it to basically trends of the 90s is not as lyrical. And again, it's just foreshadowing what's going to happen later in the 2000s, where we're mostly going to be focusing on a catchy hook, a dope beat, you know, and that's what basically the 2000 is all about, but still keeping somewhat lyrical, you know, still staying lyrical. And just to situate you guys, let's take a look at other rappers from 2003. And you had 50 Cent, Freeway, DMX, Missy, Big Timers, Ja Rule, and all of those rappers had huge club hits. Huge. So, fun fact, party people, Fabolous' first album, Ghetto Fabolous, was released on what? September 11, 2001. Again, I'm not sure that was a good thing. There's so many bad memories linked to 9/11, and yeah. So courtesy of Discogs, party people, and this is why for originality I give it a 3 on 5. That's right, 3 on 5. Delivery, party people, which stands for lyrics and flow. So let's take a look. So let's start with the quotable. How many men could you kill? Let me count out the bullets I got. How many bricks could you move? You can say 20 a block. How many brothers ride? You could fill a football field. How much money you got? You think I signed a football deal? Pretty clever, nifty, and you know what? Of course, I cannot, convey Jadakiss and Styles P's back and forth delivery, which was really cool and a little bit kind of like bringing me back to, I would say, like the mid 80s, a little bit a la Run DMC used to do it, going back and forth on the same verse. I really enjoyed that. The lyrics are pretty straightforward. One little, I would say wordplay is towards basically the last two lines, say how many brothers will ride, you could feel a football field, and how much money you got, you'd think I signed a football deal. Just the way that the rhyme scheme is made really works out. So I felt like they really were feeding off each other's rhymes, a little bit old school, but on the 2000 tip, meaning like they kept the essence of going back and forth. The Beastie Boys used to do that a lot also, but they basically uplifted it, to the 2000. And this is why, party people, courtesy of genius.com, and this is why I give it a 3.75 on 5. Production, party people, which consists of beat, mixing, scratching, engineering. So produced by DJ Clue and Ken Super Engineer Duro. Okay, so I'll tell you people, whenever I was in NYC, in the NY Scissor, I always made sure, to cop a couple of DJ Clue mixtapes. Clue with that echo effect. And after, of course, DJ Clue, known as a DJ, also had a pretty good career as a producer. But once again, the same style you could feel in DJ Clue's mixtapes that was always, club friendly, dance floor friendly. You felt that in his beats also. Okay? And and that's another thing, another trend in the year 2000 that started is to basically not use any sample. And party people, that might seem nothing now, 20 years later down the line. However, it was big because hip hop was based on sampling. Okay, and now we're taking this basically building block of hip hop and saying, you know what? We don't need it no more. We don't need it. We could make our own beats without any samples. And again, that's just, hey, you know what? That's just the way there's progression, there's evolution, Some might say that's a good thing, some might say that's a bad thing. I don't know. The way I see, I think that there's enough room to keep both. Have some producers keeping using samples and others that don't. I don't mind it as long as the music is dope, party people. Courtesy of Who Sampled, and this is why. From production, I give it a 3.75 on 5. Now, let's take, guess what? Say what? Another top 5, party people. Here are my top 5 Fabolous songs. I'm going to go with the first hit. Actually, the first time that I heard Fabolous was on Young and Hollaback, ooh, ooh, Hollaback, ooh, ooh. That was a dope track. Not Give Up, by, of course, Fabolous from the album Street Dreams, which was released in 2003. This track that we're reviewing right there from the album Street Dreams, which was released in 2003. And Breathe, which was released in 2004 from the album Real Talk. And last but not least, I'm gonna go with Diamonds from the album From Nothing to Something, which was released in 2007. But party people, before we go back to the reviews here at 40 Years of Hip Hop, we use Buzzsprout for our podcast. They get our show listed on every podcast platform available. We were able to get to 20,000 downloads, people. That's huge for us. Man, I'm really happy. I'm really proud. Really proud of me and the G-Man, all that we've accomplished, and the fact that, we got to 20,000 downloads. That's amazing. And not only that, party people, but as Buzzsprout's members, you'll get a great looking podcast platform, an audio player you can drop it into any other website, even WordPress templates. You will also benefit from a detailed analytics and tools to promote your episode, like audio video snippets of your podcast called soundbites. However, for me, my thing is that I get to generate a second revenue talking about something that I'm deeply passionate about. Think about it, party people. Are you a fan of something? I bet you are. Try podcasting about it. It's easy and it's fun, and you can easily generate a second revenue, party people. So, of course, with Buzzsprout, no credit card necessary, cancel anytime, no contracts. And party people, you will receive a $20 gift certificate after your second paid invoice. Link below in our episode notes. And party people, Buzzsprout is the way to go. And now, back to the review. Party people, is this song still relevant? Was it able to stand the test of time? And if so, how? Well, it did to a certain extent, because see, right now what's happening is in the year now that we're in, basically towards the end of 2021, you have, of course, your 90s hip hop, and then you have your, I would say, newer hip hop, trap, 2010 and up. But then you have like this music, all this massive music that is in the middle, in the year 2000. That I noticed that it's getting forgotten. Like people are not paying as much attention to it. Yeah, it's not new. For some people, it could be seen as old. Hey, it depends how old that you are. The way that I see it, I would tell you that Keepin It Gangsta took a step back, okay, style-wise, because again, it's kind of like floating in the middle. It doesn't really have an identity besides just some like club bangers, So let's take a look. So of course, nowadays, in order to be relevant, we're gonna check your social media, check out your IG, and Fabolous is not bad at 8.7 million followers. He's still relevant. YouTube views, that video has 1.3 million views. And reaction-wise, not a lot of people did some reactions on that track, on Fabolous. Fabolous is still active. He just released a mixtape with Lil Wayne called From Brooklyn to New Orleans. And not only that, but he also did a series of mixtapes from 2015 to 2017 called The Summertime A Shout Out, Volume 1 to Volume 3. And I listened to Volume 1 and 2 really well. The third one I kind of like jumped, missed it for X and X reason. Not because that I wasn't down with it, it just happened, But I think that Fabolous, of course, he's not as current as, like the Drake's Future, Drake, or J. Cole, but he's also not forgotten. And this is why, party people, for relevance and longevity, I will give it a 3.5 on 5. 3.5 on 5. Was powerful impact? Boom from the cannon. Now, was this song impactful? Well, the way I see it, this song was impactful for a certain amount of years, Like I said, like now, if I mention to this song to like a 20-year-old, they might not even know what I'm talking about. And let's check it out. So, of course, the song charted, The album did really, really well. So the album charted in the UK, nice. Position 161 on the top 200. The US Billboard 200, the Hot 200, so that's at position 55. And that was the track, And the US top R&B and hip hop albums, number 21. Also went gold, in the UK and platinum in the US. So it's not a track that that was unknown. I mean, like, the guy went platinum, for the love of God. Also, it actually a very impactful album. Top 34 with Dutch album top 100. French in position number 120. In the UK, number 51. In the US, number 3. And in the US, top R&B hip hop albums, number 3 as well. So this was a pretty impactful track, But then again, like I was saying, I feel that this track laid a little bit of a template for the rest of the 2000s, where the tracks would tend to be a little more, I would say, club friendly. There was a lot of emphasis put on the hook and on the beats, and slowly lyrics were still there, and in the 2000s, people still dropped mad lyrics, but it wasn't as, I would say, important as the 90s, where, if you didn't have lyrics, you were just ridiculed, And this is why, party people, for impact, I give it a 4 on 5, party people. 4 on 5. So, let's take a look at a little bit of a recap, So, of course, a club banger for the 2000s, for sure. Originality, I give it a 3. Nothing groundbreaking, great remix. Delivery, everyone shine on that track. However, nothing that I could say like, oh my God, check out these lyrics. But everyone was dope, so I give it a 3.75 on 5. Production, and it's one of the early beats that came out without samples, So DJ Clue production, very dance floor friendly, and this is why I give it a 3.75 on 5. Relevance and longevity, definitely a relevant track, a little forgotten, but this one is definitely going to be for the Fabolous fans, which I am, and for me, I would tell you that Fabolous was never like the best rapper, but it was also never the worst. He had a lot of like R&B, joints, and a lot of club bangers, which is alright, that's fine, like, again, not all the rappers have to be like super introspective and deep, we need a little bit of everything, and this is the reason why I totally enjoyed Fabolous, and he got a 3.5 for relevance and longevity. And impact-wise, impactful album, again, it charted in the UK, in France, in Holland, and this is why it actually deserved a 4 impact, which is 18 on 25 party people and 72%, which is basically, you know, right up there. It's not the best track, but it's also it's a club-friendly track, you know, that you could bounce to. So party people, thanks for sharing this moment together. Subscribe, like, share, and party people, support 40 years of hip-hop, you know, by buying us a coffee so that we could continue dropping this amazing weekly podcast. Tune back next week as I will be reviewing Po Folks by Nappy Roots. A little let's go down south, you know, get dirty, you know. Party people, I'm your host, Mr. Ron, wishing you a happy Honolulu. Peace, and I'm out.